Okie dokie, I'm here. How's everybody doing today, huh? Live chat. Yeah, all right. Uh, what do I do with my stuff? Oh, I'm hot. You can't see this real good up there, but I'm working on this. Almost like an alien statue, you know? Got a little carried away there. That's life, you know? It's different. Anyhow, how's everybody? How's it all going out there? I'm telling you something. You can't see, but I'm soaking wet, and it's just ridiculous. And it's hazy. It's not cloudy. It's hazy. The fires will start soon. Well, here's a couple of interesting things, none of which have anything to do with the United States, technically. I mean, they're not happening in the United States. But the European Union Football Association is going to boycott anything FIFA does with the World Cup from now on because of their screwed up deal with Trump's son-in-law's brother and all that other stuff that's going on. It's going to. First of all, I don't believe I've watched what they call I'll call it soccer, so I can distinguish the difference between the two. Although right now, I don't trust either one of the footballs, but I've watched local games, and I've seen this guy fall down on the ground, screaming and crying and moaning and groaning, and you see him an hour later, there isn't even a pink bruise on his leg. This is all acting, and it really, I'm not just saying there haven't been a couple of bad situations that I've seen. One was where a guy slugged another guy, broke his jaw. But this is, it's just, it's like the WWF, Worldwide Wrestling Federation, used to be, entertainment, not a sport. But don't tell anybody that because they're worse than wrestling fans, okay? They believe that stuff. And the rest of the game might be honest, but how they stall for time and everything like that with the guy falling down on the ground, and that's just pathetic. So they're gonna boycott it. I always thought English soccer was a little bit more honest because those guys didn't like each other and they'd slug each other once in a while. Those club teams over there. Then they got too big. And I guess that's what happens when a sport gets too big. It stops being honest because there's so much money involved in it. And American football like that. American football wouldn't, like baseball, they wouldn't do gambling or anything like that, blah, 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 blah. But now they got teams in Las Vegas, online betting consortiums are sponsoring the games and everything. Come on, you think they're honest now? Let's get real serious. Gambling's not honest, okay? Never had and never will be. It doesn't really have to be that crooked. Cards and stuff like that. The odds favor the house, especially in roulette, which people don't, and craps. People just don't understand that. You're playing against the house, and the house is the favorite. But people don't really understand that, and they just go and they gamble. Like I said, I got lucky a couple of times. I spent a year at the track, and when I got done, I had all the breakdown of all the finances and everything, and this is including winning a lot of money one night, and just spreading the wealth, partying, buying everybody dinner, drinks, and everything else. At the end of it was a thoroughbred season. So at the end of the thoroughbred season, I sat down, I figured everything out, and I think I was $3 ahead, something like that. Somebody or $3 under, whatever. Basically, I broke even. So I said, okay, that's good. Not going anymore. Went to Atlantic City. Had a habit of breaking even most nights when I was down there, because I didn't have a lot of time. Lost a few dollars here and there. And one night I had a really good night. I came away with about $8,000. And I looked at myself and I said, well, don't push your luck. And I walked away. That's the only time I've ever been. Well, no, that and football betting one year when I figured out I had a lot of winning seasons and I was ahead a lot of money over the years, and then I had this really one bad Super Bowl, and I just stopped betting after that because I said that's the turning point, and I couldn't pick a game now if my life depended on it. So yeah, gambling's influences everything, and you invest in the stock market, you're gambling. One of the things that nobody does, and this was a friend of mine did this when we went to Atlantic City one time. He sat down and he was playing with his rent money, trying to double it. And when you do that, you make rash decisions. You're not playing with money that you don't give a shit about, and you're not playing to win, you're playing to lose. And he did. He lost it all. He came to me. I didn't have it. I was having a bad. I didn't lose any money, but I didn't have the rent money he needed. So I don't know what the hell he did. Anyhow, people like that can't be trusted in certain situations because they'll take your money. People aren't smart enough to know that they're okay. That's it. I'm out of here. I won enough or I lost enough, whatever. They're not. They're not smart enough. Just what they do. All right, moving right along. What's this one? Okay, now Egypt got hit by from what I told, it was a tanker at port that got hit by a Iranian drone. Now they're saying that it's a warning. Uh, I don't know about that. Saudi Arabia was involved in some airstrikes on what they call Iran proxies. I don't know what that means because they were inside Iran. So anyhow, what they're saying now is, if you look around, is that you've got more countries getting involved in this thing. China supposedly supplying weapons, Russia supplying intelligence. Raising Iran is World War III, basically, it looks like now. And the more people that get involved in it, the more chances are that there's going to be something really, really bad happening. And that's not a real good thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to tell you there, folks, but doesn't look like it's going to be a good summer. You know what I mean? But Egypt hasn't done anything to anybody. I haven't even heard about it from Egypt in such a long time, and they used to be a real hot spot, with the Israel and everything else, and now they're taking basically Israel's side against Iran because Iran is. I'm surprised Israel hasn't gotten involved with Iran, but Israel's smart. They're staying the hell out of that one, and they're over in Lebanon doing genocide on. Palestinians, they're blaming everything bad in their country, and they're attacking the Palestinians, which is the same thing Hitler did to the Jews in Germany, and we're doing to the immigrants. We picked a general category rather than break it down by country. We chose to take a general category, immigrants. They're the reason our taxes are so high. We're the reason. No, they're not the reason our taxes are so high. Okay? Most of those people pay into taxes and Social Security. They don't collect it though, because they're not citizens, so they don't collect Social Security. And one of the reasons Social Security is starting to have serious problems is because that money's not no longer flowing there. And then you have unemployment going up because of AI and other advances, robotics and everything else that are taking jobs away from people that used to be support everybody, and they supported themselves in the end. So I would say that this generation that's out there now, when it reaches retired, that's working generation that's out there now, when it reaches retirement age, there's not going to be anything there for them to retire with. Right? There's not going to be Social Security. Trump's not going to give you money. If the Republicans stay in power to the end of Trump's term, the economy will be hopelessly lost. Okay? And you'll have two classes of people, basically slave labor and slave owners. That's what it's going to be like. All right? It's not a pretty. So it's like that. Like to make money, sell the carvings here and there. Not going to happen anymore, folks. It's going to be that's going to be the end of it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anytime, everybody, what's going on? It's my understanding that the teams are reported for summer camp. The NFL is they're in camp. I haven't. The news stays away. Sports is hard to find information on. It's like trying to find out what Trump's doing. Behind the scenes, everything's a secret now. They don't want to talk about it because it's not news. People don't care. They sit there with their iPads, iPhones, whatever kind of phone they have, and Lenoff pad, what's that? A ThinkPad or whatever. They sit there and they're constantly watching whatever's going on and big social interaction. And we had neighborhoods growing up, and I don't know whether that was good or bad because you were more or less trapped into a certain situation. Whatever the beliefs of the neighborhood were became your beliefs, and that wasn't really a good thing because you had school districts, and school districts there was a problem with neighborhoods. If you were from an affluent neighborhood, you were okay. If you're from a affluent neighborhood, you could have problems in school with the other kids and whatnot, and that all came about. There was a lot of gang activity, and in high school, and they had to deal with the upperclassmen punishing the freshmen. That goes on in every school system in the world. As you get closer to graduation, you get to do to the other kids what the kids in front of you did to you. Did that make any sense? I don't know. Which was stupid. I got out of college. I came out of high school kind of messed up, not knowing what I wanted to do with my life, not being able to experience anything. Kind of like I was dealt this situation where I had certain friends, and once they graduated school and moved, I didn't have friends anymore, and I had to deal with what was there, and I didn't like anything that was there, I don't think I had, growing up, I didn't have friends from where I lived, the town I lived in, they were all Bloomfield, Montclair, Union, the same place the business owners were from, black kids didn't want to be around me. Black kids didn't play with white kids. That just didn't happen. You didn't date black girls. You didn't, life was different. It was segregation without it being segregation. It was just a natural selection that didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Although I'll say this, the blacks that I did run into were very good friends of mine and stayed friends of mine after high school, which was surprising, you know. Um, I have a friend of mine that I was friends with when I tended bar for 6 years or so with the Rusty Scup restaurant. We met thousands of people. And he keeps asking me, "Do you know anybody how's everybody doing?" I said, "I tell you the truth, I don't know and I don't care." When I walked out of there, when I left that restaurant, I had a couple of friends that I had before I came to that restaurant that were friends with mine in the restaurant. And they all basically stopped hanging out with me because the Rusty Scupper was the place. And once you left that, you were nothing anymore. That was sad. And my friend still thinks about it, and I think he's the only person I know. Well, he is. He's obviously the only person I know that gives a shit about that restaurant. Most anybody else is trying to forget a lot of the stuff they did. He doesn't understand that. He's in his 60s now, and he still doesn't understand that. But he had a lot of fun because I think he was a very shy young man, and I think that got him out of that shell. And he loves that restaurant business for that. Well, he loves bartending. He doesn't love the restaurant business. I love the restaurant business. There's a difference. So, okay, that's it for me. I had fun. I don't know whether you did or not, but I'll be around tomorrow. We'll see what's going on overseas. It's ridiculous. People are starting to. We're getting large numbers of people now. I heard that the casualties up to something like 600 people over in Iran, and that's a dangerous number. You know. And you can't find anybody that cares, really. That's the problem. Well, I don't live in America, so down here they're worried about the president, becoming Trump. There's a difference between Trump's policies and Trump. Trump's nuts. Trump's a dictator wannabe. He's not very smart. He's kind of losing it mentally as he gets older. It's a little different than, somebody who's a conservative in the true sense of the word. All right, anyhow, I'm out of here. I'll be here tomorrow. Everybody try to find a way to subscribe to me. I need a few subscriptions. I think I'm going to go for a while. I may even stop live videos and go back to posting my videos to just to see if I can get some more people to come and see the live videos. All right. Everybody take care. I'll see you tomorrow.